and welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about Inside Out 2.
Riley is officially a teenager now. You aren't packed yet?
I'm the worst!
Overreact much?
I barely touched it.
Let the professional handle this.
I'm too gross to go anywhere ever again!
Well, that's a preview of the next 10 years.
So, we're back again with a sequel to the original Inside Out. A coming-of-age film produced by Pixar Animations and Walt Disney. And I originally really enjoyed conceptually what they did with the first Inside Out. So I was wondering what they were going to do with Inside Out 2. Watching the initial trailers, you can kind of get a glimpse into the idea of growing up and then gaining new emotions and seeing what that follows. And then, some shenanigans erupt. And then what is the actual plot to this film? So we're going to do a kind of a time skip, which is 2 years into the future, after Riley, the person who these emotions belong to. We do get brief glimpses to other emotions to other people. And I find that really interesting in getting a glimpse on everyone's kind of core emotion, who the leader to say, and then kind of their mindscape, and seeing that. And then you kind of get a bit of a montage of what's been happening with Riley in these past 2 years, and it's fun. I enjoyed that. That's a really nice beginning. But now we're at the time for all teenagers, puberty. And this is where the introduction of 4 new, actually surprisingly a 5th emotion shows up. But that's a fun little spoiler I'm not going to talk about. But it's really fun when they show up. But there's 4 main main emotions that show up. We got anxiety, embarrassment, boredom, and oh my god, what is the name? Not envy. It is envy. Disgust is green one, yeah. Because, our original ones, joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust, are original 5. So yeah, I don't know why I got envy and disgust confused. They're somewhat similar in a sense, but emotionally not. But yeah, so the introduction of these new emotions to the team, because they after watching the first one, you don't see them around, so where are they? And you get some more conceptualizations, like the back of the mind of vaulted thoughts, the idea of beliefs. These are some interesting things that they bring out in the movie for just kind of storytelling, and which I truly enjoyed from the film. That's kind of really fun world building, and that's what I enjoyed about the movie. It's just kind of getting the idea of how all these things are conceptualized, for the most part. So the story itself, the new emotions kind of take over because they feel that the old emotions are not fitting Riley's current situation. Riley's getting a chance to be on getting recruited to be on a high school hockey team, but then her friends are not going to be part of that team, that high school. They're going to be splitting up. So there's a bunch of things happening, a bunch of emotions riling up, right? And then things get wild and emotions get, quote, bottled, and it leads to this really intriguing venture to try to gain some semblance of what an individual is. And I enjoyed what they did. Sometimes it was a little bit on the nose with some things, and I found that all right. It's a kids movie, right? And sometimes, with with Disney films recently, sometimes you just need a really enjoyable, entertaining film, and this had it. It had a little bit of everything, and the I'm gonna say this was my issue. I kind of was like hoodwinked into watching this movie a little earlier than I wanted to. I was gonna take a little time to go see it later, but out of the behests of my nephew, he really wanted me to take him, so I did, and his showing was in 3D, and I cannot see 3D. For a lot of people who don't know this, I am stereo blind, so I'm not able to watch 3D films to its full capacity. So my eyes and head were killing me towards the end of that movie. It was not the best. So that kind of was my state towards the end of the film. But I think the story itself, the plot, kept me engaged enough. The way it flowed was enjoyable. The character development, the new characters of the new emotions, how they were reacting. I believe I felt that everyone did a really good job with the casting was great. I never felt like lost with this movie. Definitely there are some like emotions I'm like, oh, that's a little bit, it hits home. It really hits home. And I think that's what's one of the times is when a film's able to kind of give that tug at an individual level, because like when there's moments when embarrassment hits that button, I'm like that's embarrassing even for me, you know. Or even moments of joy, like every little bit of emotions, they definitely hit those moments, and it can hit individuals different ways. And I really enjoyed how this film did it. And then kind of the overall way it concluded and how the film as a whole, I feel that this is going to be one of their better ones. Definitely one of the better ones in recent time for Disney. Like they really needed to pick me up, and I feel Inside Eye 2, for being a sequel, not only did it step up a little bit, it's not better than the first one. I'll say that. I went back and watched the original one. I really enjoyed the original one after rewatching it recently. But the second one is a good continuation. It gave me some laughs. It definitely gave you the feel like it's a kid's movie. And I like how they play with that, like with some thought conceptions that they were in there. I find it really fun. But yeah, it's finally we're getting another Pixar Disney movie that is actually worth watching, and I'm glad they're kind of taking these steps, because God, the last couple ones have not been very enjoyable. But yeah, those are my thoughts for this one. I hope you guys get a chance to watch it. If not in cinema, at least catch it when it comes on Disney Plus, because it was fun. It was enjoyable. I really enjoyed what they did, and yeah. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it or watching on Spotify. You can watch this on Spotify too. But if you're listening to this on any other podcast platform, you can always follow me on any of my other social medias and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. So thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya. See ya. See ya. See ya.